the headlines of this hour on VTV News. Vietnam commits to contribute to transnational crime prevention. And first, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam Parliamentary Summit wraps up. And according to WHO, situation in Gaza gets worse by the hour.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. local time, and you're tuning in for 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Huyen with the top stories. Now, the 13th ASEAN-China Prosecutors General Conference with a theme of strengthening international cooperation in fighting high-tech and transnational crimes kicked off on Wednesday. State President Vo Van Thuong attended the conference, where he affirmed Vietnam's commitment to collaborate with international partners to prevent transnational crimes.
At the conference, the state president affirmed the importance of the ASEAN-China Prosecutors General Conference in cultivating a forum for procuracy and prosecution agencies in the region to enhance mutual understanding and cooperation on fighting crimes. The state president highlighted the benefits and challenges posed by the development of science and technology, which has given rise to new forms of crime. To address this issue, he suggested strengthening international cooperation and information sharing between judicial and law enforcement agencies of countries in the region and the world.
China is a particularly important partner of Vietnam and ASEAN in all fields, including the fields of prosecution. I believe that, with a sense of responsibility for the safety and happiness of the people and the development of each country, this conference will find effective solutions and unify actions between ASEAN countries and China in the fight against transnational crimes, especially high-tech crimes. This will undoubtedly contribute to cultivating solidarity, friendship, and mutual understanding between ASEAN countries and China, for peace, stability and prosperity in the region.
The state president affirmed that to become a developed, high-income country by 2045, Vietnam places human development as its core. Therefore, all human rights and civil rights are at the heart of Vietnam's future policies and planning. Vietnam is consistent with its foreign policy of independence, self-reliance, diversification, and multilateralization, as well as being a reliable partner and a responsible member of the international community for peace, stability, cooperation, and development in the world. On this occasion, the chief procurators and prosecutors of ASEAN countries and China signed a joint statement on unifying awareness and action on strengthening international cooperation in the fight against high-tech crimes and transnational crimes.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has demanded priority be given to promoting economic growth and securing the best possible results for the aspects failing to meet targets this year. He made the request while addressing the government's regular meeting for November in Hanoi on December 6.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính said that thanks to the strong engagement and determination of the political system, people, and businesses under the party's leadership, the socio-economic situation continued the positive trend in November to achieve significant results. The macroeconomy remains stable, and inflation has been contained with an 11-month increase of 3.22%. Growth has been boosted, major balances guaranteed, industrial production bouncing back, and foreign trade recorded good growth with an 11-month surplus of $25.83 billion. Current obstacles must be tackled effectively to secure the recovery and sustainable development of markets, especially real estate, corporate bond, stock, and the labor market. He also underlined the necessity to push ahead with the growth drivers of investment, export, and consumption, particularly during the year-end period. Also important is drawing investment to the semiconductor and electronics industries, and attracting green finance and credit to renewable energy development. At the meeting, The Prime Minister also demanded more attention to cultural and social affairs, environmental protection and climate change response, the combat against corruption and negative phenomena, defense, security, social order, diplomacy and international integration, policy communication, along with the fight against wrongful and toxic information.
The first Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam or CLV Parliamentary Summit wrapped up in Vientiane, Laos on December 6. A joint statement was issued following on promoting the parliamentary role in bolstering the comprehensive cooperation among the three countries.
Top legislators of the three countries signed the joint statement, reaffirming their commitment to expanding and deepening the parliamentary cooperation and partnership with a view to maintaining and protecting the close collaboration for common benefits among the three parliaments, thus contributing to promoting collaboration across politics, security, defense, culture and economy for the socio-economic development in the CLV countries. They pledged to carry out the supervisory role of the Parliament in handling shortcomings for the benefits of people in the CLV Development Triangle area, and the three countries as a whole. The joint statement also demonstrated the agreement among the three parliaments on cooperation priorities in three pillars of politics, foreign affairs, defense, security, and economy, culture, society. In his speech, Vietnamese National Assembly Chairman Vong Dinh Huê spoke highly of the joint statement, which mentions the issues of the three countries' interests, while affirming the resolve of parliamentary organizations in accompanying the governments to boost cooperation in all sectors, as well as keep a close watch on the implementation of the signed agreements for the benefits of the three peoples. As Vietnam will host the second summit in 2025, Chairman Vong Dinh Huê invited his Cambodian and Laos counterparts to engage in activities held within the framework of the summit, making contributions to enhancing the friendship and solidarity among the three countries.
The Golden Book 2023 was announced on Wednesday. 79 projects honored this year belong to many fields, from economy and society to security and defense. These are being prioritized by the party and state for development, including energy and agricultural production to mechanical engineering and automation. In particular, this year also honors outstanding works in the fields of social science and humanities. The authors of these works are groups and individuals in all regions of the country. Some are professors and doctors, some are business owners and even students. The 2023 Golden Book of Vietnamese Creativity was announced on the occasion of the 13th Party Central Committee issuing a resolution on continuing to promote and build the role of the intellectual team to meet the requirements to develop the country quickly and sustainably in the new period. At the invitation of President of the Thai National Assembly, Wan Mohammed Noor Matha, National Assembly Chairman Vong Dinh Huê is scheduled to pay an official visit to Thailand from December 7 to December 10th. His trip is expected to mark a new and important milestone in parliamentary cooperation between the two countries.
The meeting between National Assembly Chairman Vong Dinh Huê and President of the Thai National Assembly Wan Mohammed Matha was a highlight during their trip to Indonesia for the 44th General Assembly of the Asean Inter-Parliamentary Assembly in August. The two leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation in the field of legislation and experience exchanges between the two national assemblies.
National Assembly Chairman Vong Dinh Huê and the President of the Thai National Assembly are expected to sign cooperation agreements between the two national assemblies. This will pave the way for Vietnam and Thailand to strengthen parliamentary cooperation and upgrade bilateral relations.
Economic cooperation is expected to be strengthened during the National Assembly Chairman's trip to Thailand. Currently, Thailand is Vietnam's largest trading partner in ASEAN and the 9th largest foreign investor in Vietnam. Two-way trade turnover reached nearly $21.6 billion last year.
The two leaders are expected to hold a legal policy forum to promote trade and investment cooperation between the two countries. Therefore, Thai businesses are looking forward to this forum. According to his plan, National Assembly Chairman Vong Dingkwei will hold talks with Thai businesses during his visit to Thailand. I think Thailand is likely to become one of the 5 largest investors in Vietnam, as the two countries work towards the same goals. For example, Thailand is focusing on alternative energy, while Vietnam is aiming to achieve net zero by 2050.
During his visit, National Assembly Chairman Vong Dingkwei will visit Udon Thani Province, which is home to the largest number of Vietnamese expatriates, with a total population of more than 60,000.
Coming up next on VTV News. Commercial banks to have decision over credit limits. An exhibition recalls memories of Điện Biên Phủ in the air victory. You're watching VTV News. The Ministry of Public Security has dispatched a working group to Myanmar to support the repatriation of Vietnamese citizens who have been stranded in the conflict zone in northern Myanmar. As of December 6, a total of 780 people have been supported to return home on 6 charter flights. Due to the large number of rescued citizens, the Immigration Department has cooperated with relevant units in a bid to urgently verify all information regarding Vietnamese citizens to ensure the fastest support for them possible. To date, the Immigration Department has verified and issued passports to a total of 1,068 Vietnamese citizens. After the Prime Minister's directive on managing credit to ensure adequate capital supply for the economy, the State Bank issued a decision of allowing banks that have reached 80% of their credit target to increase credit limit based on last year's rating. This is expected to help businesses in need of capital to promptly access cash flow.
Due to a 30% increase in the number of orders, this business is working with the bank to develop an exchange rate insurance plan to stabilize cash flow.
In December, our imports increased up to $5 million, so the exchange rate insurance helps reduce our costs by 3 to 5 billion VND.
Aside from reducing lending interest rates from 2 to 3%, banks also have solutions to ensure output, which exempt businesses from having to prove assets before disbursement.
We also worked with related industries and associations both domestically and internationally to understand their consumption patterns so that we can pre-plan credit growth limits to suit customers' plans.
By reducing loan conditions, promoting capital for priority areas, this bank hopes to grow by 18% before the year ends.
We connect large businesses with small businesses so their output and input match each other. We also linked businesses with people to form a closed circle.
The fact that the banks can proactively adjust their credit limit growth for the whole year, provided that they meet the requirements of the state bank, will help commercial banks create a more detailed and long-term plan.
By knowing the criteria and the framework of the banking industry regarding credit limits and ranking scores, commercial banks will be able to have more active decisions in their operation.
According to banks, in addition to reducing interest rates and proactively limiting credit limits, To achieve the target growth of 14% this year, the market also needs the capital absorption capacity of businesses.
As Vietnam is aiming to achieve a green and sustainable agriculture sector, Đông Tháp province is contributing to realizing that goal by developing a green economy strategy. One of the solutions of the province is implementing is helping green startups find their footing. And so far, Đông Tháp has found some promising initial success.
After graduating with a biotechnology degree, this young man realized his dream of reducing environmental pollution by creating an organic fertilizer product from water caltrops.
My main source of raw materials is agricultural byproducts of the water caltrops, which are locally sourced. Discarded parts such as the shell, vine, and young fruit will be collected and processed according to our process to produce fertilizer.
Aside from reducing waste and creating add-on values for the water caltrops, fertilizers created from this plant are also odorless, safe to use, and environmentally friendly.
We have switched to using organic microbial fertilizers produced from water caltrops for our commercialized ornamental plants and saw great results. It helps the plants restore and develop the root system. And for flower plants, it helps accentuate the colors and extend the plant's shelf life.
This business is but one of many green startup success stories in Đông Tháp province. To promote the completion of the startup ecosystem, in 2023, Đông Tháp Provincial People's Committee issued a plan to assist startups' incubation in the province.
Youths with startup ideas, especially in the field of green agriculture, are essential to the development of Đông Tháp province. They are a source of inspiration for farmers to look up to and follow through with specific actions and models.
We have created an investment fund, a technology fund, and a startup fund so that all businesses can participate in industrial transformation, ensuring gradual changes in the quality of waste treatment, as well as protecting the environment. Looking towards 2050, we have decided that our development orientation is to not exchange economic benefits for the environment, and instead, develop a green and circular economy.
With many policies to promote green and sustainable development, especially focusing on creative solutions and green startups, the agricultural sector of Đông Tháp province will contribute significantly to the sustainable development of Vietnam.
A new exhibition has opened at the Hỏa Lò prison relic site to commemorate the 51st anniversary of the Điện Biên Phủ victory and the 50th anniversary of handing over American pilots. The exhibition, entitled Scales of War, recalls memories of the historic 12-day and night battle in December 1972, when the Vietnamese army and people defeated U.S. airstrikes in the north.
The exhibition is arranged in 3 parts, demonstrating the severity of strategic raids by the U.S. Air Force and Navy in northern Vietnam. It also depicts the lives of people and soldiers in Hanoi in late 1972. During the early days of Operation Linebacker II, Dick and his comrades were ordered to protect Hanoi when they were on duty in Nghệ An province. Meanwhile, Hùng and his comrade defeated an F-111 fighter.
We applied various military tactics to detect B-52 bombers. Thanks to unique tactics of target detecting, we could issue an alert on incoming B-52 bombers 30 minutes in advance.
U.S. fighters flew over the city all day and night, but our commander did not let us to shoot them down. We didn't know why at first, but very soon, we realized the reason behind his orders. In fact, he needed time to deploy additional soldiers and weapons to support us in defeating U.S. fighters.
At the exhibition, a section called Lane of Memories introduces many letters of American pilots who were detained at Hỏa Lò and other prisons in the north. They wrote letters for their families on the occasion of Christmas. Thomas, son of a U.S. pilot detained at Hỏa Lò prison, has visited the relic site many times. He came here to learn more about his father's life in Vietnam.
Every time I come to Hỏa Lò, I feel like I'm home.
Historical photos and artifacts recall memories of both the Vietnamese and American people during wartime. The sacrifice of Vietnamese soldiers and the endurance of Hanoi residents have deeply embedded in the hearts and minds of many people.
Coming up next in our world news. Situation in Gaza gets worse by the hour. An international cooperation platform for green finance launched at COP28. Moving on to our world news, according to the World Health Organization representative in Gaza, the situation in Gaza is getting worse by the hour. The statement was made on Tuesday as Israeli bombing intensified in the south of the Gaza Strip. The Israel's top military commander said that Israeli forces were surrounding the city of Khan Yunis. Meanwhile, Hamas launched rockets and missiles into central and southern Israel. Nearly 16,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since October 7. The Israeli army said on Tuesday that 82 soldiers had been killed since the start of its offensive against Hamas in Gaza. An international cooperation platform to provide sustainable finance capacity building services for emerging markets and developing economies was launched on Tuesday in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, or UAE. The launching event was held on the sidelines of the 28th session of the Conference of the Parties, or COP28, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The new platform was initiated by the Beijing-based Institute of Finance and Sustainability and includes more than 20 founding members. It aims to train 100,000 professionals for emerging markets and developing economies by 2030. The platform is set to begin operation next year.
The resource mobilization plan.
The European Parliament and European Union member states on Tuesday announced a new rules to crack down on fast fashion and reduce waste, including a ban on destroying unsold clothes. The new rules, first proposed by the European Commission last year, impose tougher rules on products to ensure that they last longer and are easier to repair and recycle. Goods must be sold with a digital product passport, which could be a QR code. Under the new rules, large companies will also have to report annually how much of their production they have discarded, as well as their reasons why. Medium-sized companies will have a 6-year exemption, while smaller companies are wholly exempt from the ban. According to the EU, clothing is the fourth most environmentally sensitive consumption category, preceded by food, housing, and transport. Teenagers' mathematics and reading skills are in an unprecedented decline across dozens of countries, according to the latest surveys of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. While more than half of the 81 countries surveyed saw declines, Germany, Iceland, the Netherlands, Norway, and Poland saw particularly sharp drops in mathematics scores.
According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, it had seen some of the steepest drops in performance since 2000, when it began its triennial tests of 15-year-olds' reading, maths, and science skills.
Compared to 2018, mean performance fell by 10 score points in reading and by almost 15 score points in maths, which is equivalent to half a year's worth of learning progress in reading and 3/4 of a year's worth in mathematics.
On average, 1 out of 4 15-year-olds tested as a low performer in maths, reading, and science, which means they could not use basic algorithms or interpret simple texts. Poorer results tended to be associated with higher rates of mobile phone use for leisure and where schools reported teacher shortages.
The pandemic certainly played some role. We see clearly that countries like Brazil that closed schools for longer had in generally a disadvantage in terms of learning outcomes. The decline in parental support. We have seen how important parents are, at home and also in engaging with school, and that has dropped.
The decline was not inevitable, pointing to Singapore, where students scored the highest in maths, reading, and science. After Singapore, Japan and South Korea also outperformed in maths and science, whereas Estonia and Canada also scored well.
Now before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that is it for our morning news bulletin. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.